Hello chess enthusiasts, my name is Miha and welcome to my chessrealm YouTube channel. So another interesting game from the recently ended Serbian Championship in the 5th round, playing Aleksandar Indjić as white and Nikola Radovanović as black. Let's see what happened. Aleksandar Indjić started with d4, knight to f6, c4, g6, g3, bishop to g7, bishop to g2, black castles king side, white plays knight to c3, d6, knight to f3. So what do we have? We have some sort of King's Indian defense, fianchetto variation, characterized by the early fianchetto of this light square bishop on the king side. And now black tries the center with c5, white blocks the center with d5, and now a6, preparing this b5 pawn push, and white responds with a4, immediately reinforcing this b5 square. Black plays a e6, targeting this pawn on d5, white doesn't care and castles king side, and now e pawn captures on d5, d pawn recaptures, now rook to e8, putting some pressure on this pawn on e2, and white responds with knight to f4, sorry, bishop to f4. So we are at the 11th move, and I have found more than 500 games with this position in the database, so this is, let's say, a tabia, very well known position. Knight to h5 or maybe queen to c7 are by far the most popular continuation, but black goes for the sharper variation. Knight goes to e4. We have double attack on this knight on c3. Of course, white could defend with rook to a3. That's one option. And white could even try with knight to d2, even if black would capture, pawn will recapture. After bishop captures, black is a pawn up, attacking this rook. But if you think that rook will run, well, think again. White will play knight to c4, giving this rook away. Even if bishop captures, queen recaptures, black is an exchange and a pawn up, but he's totally undeveloped. Moreover, this pawn on d6 is going to be captured very soon. There's no point, there's no way of defending it, and also black's dark square are very well weakened here, and this would be very tricky, very sharp continuation. Okay, so I didn't like the immediate complication. Knight captures on e4, rook recaptures, and now white plays knight to e2, attacking rook here on e4. Rook cannot go simply back on e8, because then we have knight to c4 again. This pawn on d6 is double attack, that cannot be defended, and it would be captured soon. So in the game, black is more or less forced to play rook to b4. Double attack on this pawn on b2. White has no intention on defending. Instead, b3 was played. Of course, now it's defended by the rook, but rook is at stake. But like I said, if pawn should capture, that this would lead to a very sharp, very double-edged position. So first, black plays g5, attacking bishop on f4. Bishop goes back to e3, and now black plays bishop to f5, still not capturing this rook, giving white one less chance, for example, to remove the rook, let's say, to a2, from where it would be safe. But white doesn't care about the rook and plays knight to c4. Of course, preparing to capture this rook at some point. So now black has decided to finally capture this rook on a1. So bishop captures on a1, queen recaptures. And now rook captured this defenseless pawn on b3. So black is exchanging a pawn up, but not for long. White plays bishop goes to e2. Now rook, this b3 doesn't actually have any good place to go and will soon be captured. a5 was played, preparing to retreat the rook here to b4, from where it will be captured by one of these pieces. So black reinforces the b4 square. First, white plays e4, attacking this bishop. Black retreats the bishop to g6, and now white plays f4. Very interesting move. Black has to be careful. If black, for example, let's place a rather move, knight to a6, we would have queen to d1, attacking this rook on b3. Rook doesn't have anywhere to go, and after rook to b4, bishop captures, knight recaptures, and then we have f5, attacking this bishop, and also this h5 square. The only straight square is protected, so here white traps this bishop. So in the game, black plays rook to b4 immediately. Now white cannot play queen to d1, because first of all, this knight on c4 is attacked, so white immediately gains back the exchange. Bishop captures here on b4, a pawn recaptures, black is still a pawn up, so white plays queen to d1. First of all, protecting this pawn on a4, and also preparing this f5 pawn push, trying to trap this bishop. So black plays h6. Now black has an escape square here on h7, and white responds with h4. Now we have double attack on this pawn on g5. Maybe still the best option for black would be black would simply capture pawn on h4 after g pawn already captures, queen captures on h4, knight captures on a6. So black is still a pawn up, but is a little bit undeveloped. Black has 2 passed pawn, white has 1. Well, both sides has equal opportunity for a good game. Definitely this would be the best continuation for black in the game. However, black saw the things a little differently. Rook to a6 was played. I'm not sure exactly what black meant by this move. Maybe it was just a sort of a waiting move. Maybe black was waiting on this trade on g5, because if h pawn captures on g5, after h pawn recaptures, if let's say f pawn recaptures, of course this e5 square is no longer protected by the pawn, and black would be able to develop his knight on this very strong e5 square. Maybe that was what black had in mind. I don't know. Actually, in the game, white indeed captures pawn on g5, h pawn recaptures, only now white plays f5, attacking bishop on g6. This bishop has only one good square, so bishop goes back to h7, and white pushes f pawn forward to f6, of course protecting this g7 square, preparing to deploy maybe queen to g7 with checkmate. All sort of mating tracks can come up with, and here black continues with knight to d7, double attack on this pawn on f6. White continues with queen to h5. Of course, pawn is protected by the rook, and if a knight captures, simply queen captures on g5, double attack on king and knight. White gains decisive material advantage. So in the game, black plays knight goes to e5, attacking this knight. Of course, also protecting this g4 square, maybe hoping to push g pawn to g4. So white more or less had no other option but to capture knight on e5. D pawn recaptures, and now queen captures on g5 check. Well, material is equal, but black is totally lost here. Of course, if king goes to h8, queen to g7, checkmate. If king goes to f7, then queen to g7 again, check. After king to e8, bishop to h3. Now all squares are taken, king cannot escape, and if black wouldn't sacrifice his bishop on f5, it would be mate in a couple of moves. So in the game, black plays bishop to g6, defending the check, and now white plays again bishop to h3, because black king might try to escape here out of the king's side, so white is protecting this e7 and d7 squares. Black continues with king to h7, maybe hoping to deploy the queen here to h6 in order to defend the king. So white has to act fast. Rook to f2 was played. Now black finally captures this pawn on a4, and now rook to h2, preparing this cover attack. Black doesn't have time to give check, because after rook to a1, simply check. We have bishop to f1 defending the check, and black is king is check. After king to g8, rook to h8 check, king captures, queen to h6 check. After king to g8, queen to g7 checkmate. So black might have very well resigned here. Still in the game, king to g8 was played, and now we have mate in 3. I'm going to give you a couple of seconds to find it. White plays queen captures on g6 check. Again, after king to h8, queen to g7 checkmate. After king to f7, queen to g7, and mating the next move. If f pawn captures on g6, we have a bishop to e6 check. After king to f8, the only move is rook to h8 checkmate. And anyway, in this position, Nikola Radovanović resigned the game. So I hope you like this game. I hope you have learned something from it. If you have any questions, my email is below in the description. Of course, I invite you to visit my Instagram page. That's it for now, and see you soon.